Hey y'all, I'm back and I have more creepy stories for you guys. I don't know why I've never thought about this topic before because I myself have so many weird, creepy, crazy stories from going out. So this says, fellow bartenders of Reddit, what kind of dangerous, creepy, or cringy situations have you been in? Former bartender, hope that counts. I had one guy who would come in every night, buy one drink, sit in the corner, and take about 4 hours over it. Yes, 4 hours. Anyways, we got used to him and just brushed it off as harmless. He never really spoke, never really moved, to be honest. After about 2 months of this guy coming in, I'm locking up for the night about 2 a.m. as usual, and I go through the motions, switching things off, etc. I walk the whole place to do this upstairs and down, and I used to lock myself in after the last customer left. So I'm coming down the stairs, and out of the corner of my eye, I see him, not moving. My heart at this point is beating so fast, I feel sick and my palms are slipping on the stair rail. I say pathetically, I'm sorry, we're closed, you'll have to leave. At first he doesn't move. Then slowly he stands and drains his glass whilst I prepare to run or die and say a prayer in my head. Then he looks me dead in the eye, grins, and just slowly leaves. Thing is, the door was locked because he had to turn the key to get out. It was hanging in the lock. And I swear he was not there when I locked up. I've never been so freaked out in my life. I rang the manager, etc., and got picked up rather than driving home. The guy never came back to the bar after that, and no one ever found out who he was. Was he like hiding? That's like the first thing that came to my head, was he was hiding. And if you were there alone, fuck, oh my god. No, I actually cannot. Okay, not dangerous, but creepy. I worked at a gay bar that catered to older clientele. The younger gays frequented a different bar. One customer that would come in would often beckon me over, seemingly to order another drink, and then proceed to sweep his arm around me, pull me in close, situate me on his lap, and compliment my appearance. This only happened a few times before I caught on to his technique and stood far back. I was young, early 20s, and didn't have much of a backbone, or I would have said something. Ultimately, I always just felt embarrassed after and would try and make myself busy behind the bar and not make eye contact with him. Creepy and titleist men exist in both straight and gay bars, unfortunately. No, that's just weird, and I feel like that borders assault if it's not assault. People refusing to leave, shouting, getting aggressive, all the usual stuff. The two stories that stand out to me are when I was 18 at my first bar job. I'd been there for a while and they promoted me to supervisor. First night on shift in charge, a homeless lady comes in and asks to use the bathroom. We usually let them if they're nice and they actually ask us, because then you both know they're there and it's usually no problem. Except this time she doesn't come out for ages. I knock on the door, she says it's fine, I'll be out in a second. Half an hour later, I open the door to the toilet to find her passed out on the floor with a hole in her arm. Police and ambulances came very quickly, but it wasn't fun. Another was a fight where two guys ended up behind the bar, got blood sprayed on me that night, and even found a little more behind our coffee machine a few days later after we thought we had cleaned everything up. Not the first time people had blood on me or the bar, but it was sickening finding it days later. That's disgusting. The first one is so sad and obviously so unfortunate that you had to be the one to find her. The second one, get a grip. Are you fighting? I was working a cocktail bar that aspired to be a club with an in-house DJ and dance floor, etc. Guy was on a first date with a girl. She loved that he could dance and was really good at it too, but quickly realized that he couldn't hold a conversation. She was keeping safe and not drinking much, despite that being the status quo for everyone else there. When she went to powder her nose, he came over to me. Hey man, I got this date and it's going okay, but I want it to go amazing, you know? Can you make her the strongest, most panty-dropping drink you got? Oh my god. I told him no, and that his date won't go well if he thinks her blind drink will make it better. I then caught her on the way back from the ladies' room and let her out the back entrance. She already had her purse and agreed she didn't want to deal with him anymore. Looking back, I wish we had had an angel shot scheme or something similar for customers to alert us to that sort of stuff, and not it just be me keeping an eye out. It deserves to be locked up. Also, if I was her, which I feel like she would have done in this situation, especially if she was so willing to just leave, but I just wouldn't have accepted the drink from him. I would have been like, I didn't see them make it. I don't know where this came from. You've been holding on to it. I don't know you. I'm not accepting this. You drink it. Fucking so many. I've had knives pulled, been in fights, been followed home, etc. But one story still makes me mad. Had some old lady give me a $120 tip, then make me give it back because I wouldn't go home with her. Also, another lady my age wouldn't leave until I listened to what she was whispering. Then she grabbed me and tried to put her tongue down my throat. No one said shit, but some old lady came up later and was like, it's really messed up, nobody said anything. She's super old, like 100, so I don't blame her for not. I'd seen my coworker try and flirt with extremely intoxicated girls, seen customers cheat, etc. It's a cesspool working with humans every day. People suck. No, people fucking suck. Apart from my old boss telling me to let old creepy guys grab me and call me sugar tits, once had a dude follow me to the staff area, unbuckle his pants, and get his... No, I don't know if I can read this. Luckily, my manager was also working and beat the shit out of the guy outside. Oh my god, thank god. Dealt with a huge bar brawl during a match day rugby where the owner decided we didn't need security. Chairs were being thrown and people got glassed. I ended up getting smacked in the face trying to stop a dude from punching his wife. First shift working a nightclub found a positive pregnancy test in the toilets. Also, someone took a dump in the sink in the dance floor. Had a few spooky incidences, which I'll go into further detail if anyone's interested. And then it says update, which I'm hoping this is the spooky story. The nightclub had a larger upstairs area that hosted gigs. It was a bit of a dive, and I usually had to clean/lock up after. It was pitch black when closing, and I'd often have to use the light of my phone to get to the downstairs club area through a series of back passage areas. The building's old as fuck and used to be in a bad area where chloria, was rife and many people died. Once, when cashing up, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a man, dressed in rags, running in a squatting fashion right up next to me. As I turned, it blinked out of existence. I'd often hear running footsteps getting closer to me, then stopping quickly, a cat hissing directly in my ear, coughing and wheezing, and had a bottle thrown halfway across the venue. It would get freezing in the club when this happened, but at the same time, the air felt heavy, like before a storm. There's a gin bar where the upstairs club used to be now, and before COVID, they've also had similar experiences. Yeah, I just want to stick to the weird people. I don't need to see it. I don't need any more paranormal. A little, squatting man running up to you? What the fuck? What do you mean? I bartended at a normal, nice little family-friendly restaurant that had a bar, and let's see. Customers cheating, owner's son cheating on his pregnant wife with the waitress, men and women constantly sexually harassing bartenders and servers because don't you want a big tip? Watching depressed individuals drown their sorrow in booze and greasy food every night, cooks and other older staff, oh my god, I can't read that part, doing horrible things to young waitresses while helping them to their car. They learned what staff would go out and stop them and which ones would let them go. I can't. And lots of drugs being dealt. I mean, really, some restaurants are just giant markets for sex work and drugs. That's the worst thing I've ever read. That is horrific. I haven't been bartending for over a decade now. I loved my job and I miss it so badly. Wrote this somewhere before, so just copied it because I'm lazy. Guest comes in the bar on a Saturday night. It's pretty packed. I'm alone and try to keep up with all the orders. He has a sketchy vibe, but I don't have the time to check more on that. He sits at the corner of the bar. I pass him every time I leave or enter the bar and serve other guests. At some point, he takes out his phone and leans it against his beer glass. I thought he might film me, so I checked next time I passed behind him. He was watching porn, where you could see a big black dude going hardcore on a tiny blonde girl. What the hell? Almost the whole bar could see it. I freaked out and kicked him out. He stayed outside for at least half an hour staring at me. Super creepy, but at least nothing happened. You couldn't just go home and do that? I don't know if I should share this on the internet, but I'm going to. I had a friend go to a memorial recently, and there was an old man watching porn the entire memorial. It was a funeral. Get a grip. Worked an event for a movie premiere. All of a sudden, Claire Dane stands at my bar and orders tequila shots. I knew she was going to be there because she was the main character in the production, but had never expected her to come and put in orders. We didn't have tequila for this special event. I was bar chef and had to send my runner in full speed to the liquor store to get some. It was a bit unsettling and she was seemingly pissed to have to wait. Order something else, bitch. Worked in a club. We have one very famous gay party which is well known and mostly runs for 2 to 3 days. Had a Sunday day shift and a guest tried to order something. Unfortunately, he was so insanely high that he, 1, didn't know which language to use, and 2, in his trip he was not in a club but in a burger place. So he insisted in ordering a chicken burger. It took me a moment to understand, but he got a bit restless, so he just screams, "Burger! Chicken! I want chicken burger in my face!" These parties are known for a high drug consume. I'm used to handling these people and could tell he was fine, just hard tripping. He finally realized that I'm not going to give him a burger, so he just kind of left, confused. I followed him and saw he had a group of friends who caught him and took good care. Told my colleagues from the door, of course, and they kept an eye on him. Probably one of the most hilarious and weird bar orders I've ever had. This is not the same in the slightest, and I don't really drink or go out anymore, but I was out one time and I was trying to order like a vodka Red Bull and a tequila Red Bull for me and my friend. And I ordered the vodka Red Bull just fine, but then I kept saying tequila vodka, and the bartender was like, "What the fuck do you mean?" I was like so confused because I thought I was saying it right. I was like, a tequila vodka, a tequila vodka. I ordered these all the time. I wanted tequila vodka. And they were like, "That's not a thing." And then I was like, a tequila Red Bull. And they hated me. And I would have too. My first bar job in a small club in my tiny hometown. Hells Angels are a big thing there. Everybody knows that. They have their hands and money in a lot of businesses. One night they came in the club, 6 dudes, complete outfit with the logo on the back of their jackets. We only had 2 bouncers working and they had no chance besides letting them in. They came and sat at the bar for a few hours drinking whiskey coke in an insane amount, just observing the party and being present. It was an alternative party, lots of young people, students, and innocent folk. I was super aware and intimidated during their stay. Never found out what they wanted, but super glad they never came back. Are they dangerous? I feel like I don't know anything about them. I feel like, aren't biker gangs like nice sometimes? I feel like every movie, like, yeah, as if that's reality. Every movie I've ever seen of a biker gang, they're pretty nice. So I don't know. Former bartender in a casino. It's about 2 a.m. on a Tuesday and this young lady comes to the bar. A little chatting because the bar is quiet, and then without preamble asks for my number. I said, "Sorry, I've got a girlfriend." She kind of whines and says in an accusatory tone, "Other bartender on shift said you don't, and we could definitely hook up." The woman I was on shift with was a friend of the young lady and had tried to set me up with her friend. Anyhow, she awkwardly leaves the bar without another word, and then the rest of our shift was also awkward. Why would she do that? Why are you doing that? I worked in a pool hall for a few years, but before I started there, my now husband was bartending. I used to visit him on my way home from work if he was off shortly after. I was at the bar one night and this chick walks by with her guy following a bit behind her. I didn't think anything of it until his hand was very firmly and invasively on my ass. If I hadn't been wearing jeans, his fingers would have been inside of me. It was so aggressive. I turned around so fast and started screaming at him, mentally reminding myself not to cost my husband his job. He almost hopped the bar but didn't, as he saw the guy was stuck between me and his girlfriend, both of us screaming our heads off. She chased him out the door and I locked it behind them. Not long after, I was working behind the bar. Crack smoked in the bathrooms, people trying to pay me to lock the doors, drunk fucks sitting in the middle of the tables to take shots, and don't even ask about the VLT room. Disgusting. I don't want to know what that means. I'm so glad she was also screaming at him. I'm so glad you were both just standing there screaming at this man, because the audacity. Get your fucking hands off of me. Former bouncer here had a girlfriend bartender. My girlfriend would get tons of dudes barking her up quite a bit. Part of being an attractive bartender, and she never really had anyone cross the line. It was a metal bar and the bouncers were all big old dude and I was one of the smaller ones at 220. I dropped her off earlier in the night, hung out for a bit. This guy comes in with a group of friends. They're all partying pretty good and I could tell he was super insecure but trying to compensate for it and was saying some pretty cringe-inducing things to my girlfriend. She was great at handling bar dudes and after getting a couple chuckles with my friend, I took off. I come back a bit before cutoff to pick up my girlfriend and the same group was there with our little friend. My friends and I were getting everyone out and could overhear this guy telling his friends, "I don't need a ride home, I'm going home with the bartender." I tried to be nice and get him out with his friends and his ride. He kept telling me, "It's okay, the bartender said I could stay past closing." I kept hinting that I was giving her a ride home. I didn't spout off about being her boyfriend because I don't like jacking with her tips. He was so confident he was going to go home with her, and he kept obsessing over his Lincoln and name dropping it. I remember his friends telling him how hard it was going to be to get home, and I tried to help him go with his friends, but he insisted until the end. And finally I told him it would be awkward for him to go home with my girlfriend because I insist on being the big spoon. It was a joke, but I remember seeing his face when we drove away. This was before Uber and all the cabs stopped at 2 a.m. That guy either slept on the street somewhere or walked the 3 hours home that his friends told him he'd have to walk if he didn't get a ride. College towns are great for some cringe-inducing stuff. If I was her, I'd be like, and when did I say that? And when the hell did I say that? Get out? Like, I'm so sorry, that's insane. Worked at a neighborhood, this is crazy. Worked at a neighborhood dive biker bar, and one night, 2 guys and a girl I had never seen before came in, got drinks, and went out to the back patio. After a few minutes, one of the guys and the girl left. The other guy came in and sat down at the bar. I said he had some dirt or something on his neck, and I handed him a wet napkin. When he tilted his head back, his throat was slit ear to ear. And then somebody literally replied and was like, "What happened? Did he die? 'Cause what?" And they said, "No, actually my friends and I saved his life." The guy who cut him was caught immediately and convicted of attempted murder. The whole thing was a long, crazy, but 100% true story as it all played out. Oh my god. Okay, this is the last one I'm gonna read. It says, former barmaid a long time ago. Back then I used to have long hair. At work, I wore it in a braid. This dude was hassling all night. Subtle come-ons first, then constant low-key harassment. Just before closing, when the bar was almost empty, the dude reached over the bar and grabbed my ponytail, yanked backwards hard like he was trying to pull me over the bar by my hair. I yelped. The owner of the bar was mercifully nearby, grabbed the dude and threw him out the door, about a 5-foot drop onto the concrete. As he deserved a 20-foot drop. I don't care. All right, that's all I'm gonna read for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. This thread is pretty long, so I'm like, we could read more. We could read more of these. I don't know if I like them, but we could read more. They're just so scary and honestly really sad. Like, it's really horrific, the things that go on. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. But I guess if you guys have any weird, scary, creepy, disturbing bar stories that you want to share with me or the community, I will have my subreddit link down below. Whether you're a bartender or just a guest at a bar and something weird happened, let me know. But other than that, I'm gonna go. I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye.